Hello and welcome back with another game of StarLadder. We are here with Star Series Season 8. It is day 10 and this is game 4, even though it says game 5 over there. The reason that it does that is because there was a game cancelled earlier, but it was game 4 of total of 5 today. So Fnatic taking on Alliance. Of course, I'm not by myself. You are joined here by 2 other people apart from myself. We have got Nahaz, your stats man for the evening, and of course my co-caster, G-Advance. Welcome back.
Hello again.
Hello
I'm gonna keep on saying that as my thing now.
Yep. Hello again. Very low.
Hello again.
I can't copy that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Wow, this draft comes out very fast. But before I talk about the draft, quickly look at the scores. It's just, I mean, both of these teams haven't played really all that many games just yet. You have to take into account that both of the teams have gotten a free win due to 4FC disbanding, as you see them sitting on the 17 or 0-17. Both have played 3 games. We have Alliance with a 3-0 score and Fnatic with the 2-1. So Fnatic looking to make it to 9 points as well, as Alliance looks to rise even more in the rankings, making it to rank number 6, I believe, if they win this one. But we're going to see if they can do it. They have managed to pick up an Elder Titan, which is a hero that we normally see banned out. So that is quite an interesting hero to let through from the side of Fnatic, to be honest.
GG guys, Elder Titan led through. That hero's insanely powerful. It was really funny when this hero first came out. Most people generally thought of him as kind of weak, but Astral Spirit and Natural Order is absolutely a ridiculous harass. It's really, really powerful in the mid game, and it turns him into an absolute beast when he pulls the Spirit back. If he's put the Astral Spirit on enough enemy units, particularly heroes, he hits absolutely stupid hard. So Alliance being given that, I'm not entirely behind Fnatic on this one. And Alliance, they've been looking good today, and they've been looking to bring something new, which was, you know, very, very aggressive. I talked before about how Loader generally, he's one of the, like, he's the highest GPM average carry because he farms so much, but this time earlier he was picking up Vanguard and things, going very aggressive. So I think Alliance are going to take this one personally.
Well, we'll see, because, I mean, there's, like, okay, Trixie didn't win with his Nature's Prophet in the previous game, but there's still a Trixie Nature's Prophet with a no-till Chen. The pushing also from a Dragon Knight is just so there and so strong that I can't give my, you know, no. I don't know for sure yet if Alliance is going to take this one. Not even with the Elder Titan on their team. I do like that they ban out the Night Stalker themselves, which is something that I would expect them to do or what I would expect Fnatic to be doing if they watch the previous game, of course, of Alliance. Because we just saw S4 play Alchemist solo mid, and even though he might be able to do a good job up against a Dragon Knight, it is still up in the air if he is going to play indeed that Alchemist, or if Loda will play that. And on top of that, Elder Titan, is Admiral Bulldog going to play that? Is S4 going to play that? We've also known that they have played it as supports a couple of times. So it is also, it's just a very open draft from Alliance. While Fnatic, they kind of lock themselves into a position right here. Having the Dragon Knight indeed in the mid lane. Having the Chen in the jungle. Off lane Nature's Prophet. Very standard. Very known, I'd say. We'll see though, because Fnatic, they did apparently do a bit of their homework. Banning out the Doom still. I guess they are expecting no offlane Elder Titan, but perhaps still an Admiral Bulldog Doom. Venomancer removed as well, and the Crystal Maiden, of course, removed earlier as well. So Alliance, their support choices are very limited. With no Visage, no Enchantress, no Venom, no Crystal Maiden, there are not that many heroes in the pool anymore that we have seen recently. At least, you know, the Nyx Assassin is still there if you want to go for that. And even Lion is the hero that we've seen a couple of times, but they end up going for the Io. That's the hero that we'll see here.
Yeah, this is a really, really nice pickup. I, for one, think this hero is just amazing to watch. He's so exciting. And like you were saying before about how they picked up Alchemist and Elder Titan first, whereas Fnatic pick up heroes who are very, very obvious about their lanes. DK always goes mid, Chen goes jungle, Nature's Prophet pretty much off-laner. Alliance, they can play their heroes anywhere, and it's something that they always do with their draft. It has meant that Fnatic were able to really target their supports, but Alliance, they're able to pick up the Wisp. The one problem with Wisp is he is very hard to execute, particularly after he got his nerf where his tether doesn't stun anymore. He's really, really weak in the laning stage now, even more so than he was before. Where before, if you executed it perfectly in the laning stage, you could kind of be like, okay, this hero is really good all the time. But in this game, I don't know, if Fnatic try to pick something that can punish the Wisp, it'll be pretty difficult for Alliance, but we'll see, we'll see.
I guess, I mean, in this case, perhaps not with the relocate being the most important thing here for IO. I think they're gonna go for the overcharge to be the one to really help out, unless, like, I don't know why, but I'm thinking Tiny.
Tiny is really, really cool. The issue for me then is that you put Wisp Tiny as a lane together, and they're terrible, terrible heroes in lane together. Tiny has no lane presence, Wisp has no lane presence. They might need somebody else to support them, and generally that isn't something Alliance do. They're very, very greedy with their safe lane. They almost always have somebody like pretty much hard jungling, like a CM, an Enchantress or a Chen, and they almost always have another person almost exclusively pulling. So it'll be interesting to see whether they do that or not. I don't think they will personally. I think they'll combo it with the Alchemist, because I've seen them do that before.
Time will tell, I guess. I mean, Fnatic apparently doesn't really know what they're up against yet either. They just ticked through their entire bonus time. They only have 3 seconds left, so we're gonna see a Rubik coming out from them. We mentioned it earlier in the game that we saw, I think, from Na'Vi when they picked up a Rubik. It's a support that, for one, it's really reliant on what you can steal at the moment, and there's not that many great things to steal apart from Alchemist things. Elder Titan mostly works well, of course, because, you know, if you steal his spells, because they work so well in synergy with each other, but Rubik mostly picked up as a safe lane support by himself, because he can just keep any carry fairly safe. It's just that simple. And I wouldn't mind seeing a Luna here as well. I mean, we saw a Rubik with a Luna combination earlier today. And the reason I wouldn't mind a Luna is, of course, because it would just add up to the push. And I think that's why we see Alliance also going for a Gyrocopter. The counter push with the Gyrocopter is going to be really good. The turtle potential is there with the Gyrocopter always, and as well as just the comeback potential, because the Desperation Rapier on a Gyrocopter has a lot of value in it. And with the IO there, with the overcharge, I think it's a good combination to see. I'm still kind of curious to see if it's going to be an Alchemist for S4 then, or an Alchemist for EGM, as we've seen both before. And then, of course, if it's an Elder Titan for Bulldog or an Elder Titan for EGM. Or if EGM is going to play the IO, which he normally does do. And if like, there's so many options here. It's just, apparently Fnatic is expecting that there's still going to be a support picked up. So maybe we should go based on that one.
Yeah, Bane's a pretty solid ban. I do think the Alchemist Wisp combination is a little bit weak as far as what it could do, but Gyrocopter's a really, really strong combination with Wisp and Fnatic. It seems like they're a little bit worried, to be honest, because Anti-Mage is not a hero that you pick anymore as a standard. It's pretty much your, we're in a bad position, we'll pick a hero who we know is reliable, who can split push, he can fight if we need him to. He's not particularly great at fighting. It's a pretty much a desperation pick, like a pick that you go back to if you're not quite sure what you can go with.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, apparently I believe there is someone actually streaming without delay.
Reserve time.
But yeah, I agree. Anti-Mage, I mean, I think they wanted to have the Luna, but of course banned out there. Anti-Mage is just a secure pick. We'll see how they do with it. If they can actually execute a bit of their push, they can at least take some early towers to ramp up that Anti-Mage a bit faster than they normally would, and that might be their plan here. And in about 13 seconds, we're also going to see if what Alliance wants to do with their lineup, because they're going to review a lot more. It will be a Death Prophet, wow. That means that we have actually... Wait a second, that's a support Gyrocopter.
Death Prophet? So it's a support Gyrocopter. How long is it since we've actually seen support Gyrocopter? Because it's funny, because one of my friends was talking about this. He said he hates it when people go, oh, Gyrocopters pick up, maybe there'll be a support, because we haven't seen it for ages. But you always kind of want to see Gyrocopter support, because it's actually pretty fun to watch. It's a really interesting hero. But it's been the longest time since we've seen a Gyrocopter support. It's not the most reliable of supports. It'll be interesting to see how they lane this. They could maybe even...
What? You're...
want to end the game, though.
There you are. Sorry.
Sorry?
Your microphone didn't pick up your voice anymore for a while. There you go.
Awesome. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm blaming
5
Mumble.
seconds remaining.
I don't know why. I just... Yeah.
You can blame Mumble.
But I was just saying, this is a really unusual lane setup for them, because the Gyrocopter and the Wisp now, it's going to be kind of odd to see where they can go with this. And for the moment, it looks like someone's AFK, so...
Yeah. And let's take a look, because last time we did this, there was a pause, and like with Alliance versus Na'Vi, there was a pause, and after the pause, Alliance swapped heroes. So I'm not sure if we can introduce Alliance yet, because I mean, I don't think we're gonna see a swap. I think this is gonna be it. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see S4 taking on the Death Prophet with Loda taking on the Alchemist. For example, some kind of swap like that. They swapped in the previous game as well. So we'll have to see
the only
what they
issue
do
for
with
me
that.
there is Death Prophet's really, really gankable. She's got like virtually no armor, hardly any HP, and only 280 base move speed. So she's really, really gankable in the mid lane, and there is a Chen on the field. So I would prefer to see a safe lane Death Prophet, and I think they will go for that. I'm curious about where these supports are going to do. I mean, I guess they're going to go for kills early. I mean, EGM is not really the best for that, but yeah. It's nice to see Death Prophet, though. I mean, even if she's like... She kind of ruins everything on the screen with her exorcism. It just covers everything. But it's nice to see more heroes being played competitively again.
Yeah, and look at that stat that Nahas just put out. Well, that wasn't really a stat, but more something that Loda said during EMS. That he sees potential in Death Prophet as a hard carry. Well...
That's interesting.
That is interesting. So I don't... Maybe we're not going to see a swap at all in this one.
I would guess if he said that, then that does indicate that he will go into that position. But it looks like the game's going to be starting again in a few seconds, so I'll let you introduce the team of your choosing first.
I'll introduce Alliance as my camera is there anyways. So far no swaps. That means that Aki will be the support Gyrocopter Loda on the carry Death Prophet S4. Solo mid Alchemist with EGM on his IO, and then offlane goes the way of Admiral Bulldog playing Elder Titan this game. Picked up boots first. 3 clarities to spam out his astral spirit, and he got pulled a couple of tangos, so he's going to be having a good late, I think.
Okay, and on the side of Fnatic, we do have Hani. He's going to be playing the solo mid Dragon Knight for his team. Fly, he's going to be picking up the Rubik, one of the supports. Era, picking up his anti-mage. No Tail, he's going to be going onto the jungler, the Micro Master himself. It's going to be Chen. And last but not least, it's going to be Trixie again. He's going to have to do a ton of split push again, probably like last game. He's going to be on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, wow. Anti-mage is not really doing all too well. 8 to 16.
30 seconds.
And Era at 4 games dropped. That's that doesn't really boost a lot of confidence for Fnatic, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about the anti-mage pick. Like you said, they used a lot of time in their draft, and then they picked up Rubik and then anti-mage. For me, these heroes don't do as well in this patch. I mean, that's pretty obvious, is that hard carry farming heroes, well, not exactly hard carry anti-mage, but heroes who do particularly well in lane, like Rubik and like anti-mage, who can't achieve anything on their own, really, really struggle in this patch. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, Southcast.
I have no idea what Southcast means.
I don't know.
It's like a snowboarding term or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like like a brand name for snowboarding equipment.
Southcast. It could be actually. Cool.
I mean, it's not. It's totally not going to be, because otherwise, why would he be saying it? But it sounds like
maybe
it
he makes commercials for sponsored Southcast. Snowboarding commercial. Woohoo. Well, it will be a EGM Aki. I kind of like this support roaming kind of thing with a Gyrocopter and IO. It's been a while since we've seen that one. But then both as supports. I think most of our action or most of our attention should be focused on the mid lane. I doubt that Trixie is a very experienced Nature's Prophet. Yes, he's also a very kind of aggressive one, so he might just get picked up, but I don't think he should die. Like, that's just one thing here. And I think our mid lane is going to be the most...
he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's going to just be forced away. But our mid lane should be the most interesting one, as S4 actually is taking quite a beating here from Hani, who just dove him under the tower. But he's gonna be okay. He has got a bottle, or at least enough money to buy a bottle, which he does do indeed. We'll see though, Hani with already having his bottle, he has a breathe fire as well. This is scary.
Yeah,
and
Hani was
actually
able to pick up a
in.
really fast bottle because he was given tangos immediately.
Oh, no tail. He's gonna do it twice in a row, but this time, oh, good. This time, there's a courier that indeed Alliance pick up on the side. Nicely done, courier, I'd say. Was the courier actually smoked there? I think it might have been.
I'm not sure, I didn't see, but yeah, they obviously know that this is something that No Tail has done a couple of times in a row now. And yeah, it seems like Dragon Knight's a really, really strong hero versus the Alchemist.
Yeah, Astrun picked up by Bulldog, forced into that by No Tail walking around. Can't really afford having it denied, so picks it up himself, and it's actually a very good rune for him to have as well on the aggressive dual lane. Well, for Fnatic it's a safe dual lane, but it's an aggressive solo lane. How about that? Now he can at least be aggressive to Fly. He can punch him a couple of times, and with his spirit damage, let's see how hard he hits. Because Fly, I mean, that's already half his damage done, and Bulldog is not worried whatsoever. I mean, telekinesis might be there, but it won't kill him off. Where are you expecting the first blood to happen? Is that going to be mid lane, or are we going to see a gank coming off on a different one and have a kill there?
I expect it to be wherever the Gyrocopter and the Wisp go, because for me, those are very, very obviously the two most aggressive heroes, and they can pick off a kill on pretty much everyone. I mean, it's a well-known fact that Gyrocopter does an absolutely ludicrous amount of damage from Rocket Barrage on a single target. EGM can help them with that, slow them down, put them in the right position. It's going to be all about what these two do for me. It could take a while though, because I mean, Hani's not the easiest kill. He's on the dire side as well, which is slightly harder to gank, I feel, in the middle lane. But yeah, things are looking slow for the moment because there's no real possibility of a solo Chen killing S4. Rubik's not the best hero to help on Hani, and so far both the offlaners are playing very safe.
So you are expecting a first blood to go in favor of of Alliance then, regardless, right?
Absolutely. With a support Gyrocopter, I have to. Although Aki's playing not his usual role, which is like a 6 role, because he normally just doesn't farm at all, and he lets EGM farm a load. But they've actually switched out their roles a little bit here, because I think really Wisp is less of a he's more of a hard support than a Gyrocopter is.
Well, we do have the bottle up on EGM, so he's indeed taking on more of a 4 role here still, if you'd ask me. But yeah, Aki is getting a bit priority over for experience, it feels like. He's allowed to be on the lane, taking away some experience from a Death Prophet. I mean, we haven't really talked that much about a Death Prophet, but on the lane, normally you see her played solo mid. Or at least solo, where she can get a lot of experience, can get ahead of everybody else, and just start wrecking towers before anybody really is able to do anything about it. So Aki being allowed to sit around here and take experience is actually a pretty big deal. I mean, Loda still is doing fine, don't get me wrong, he's still getting most of the last hits. He's actually got himself some face boots, and regardless if they have exorcism or not, it looks like they're gonna start with the pressure already. With the flak cannon, with the Crypt Swarms. This is so annoying, actually. Indeed. The dual combination of the IO and the Gyrocopter might as well be trying to get the first blood here. I was actually gonna say, for conversation purposes, go for a Fnatic first blood with still help of that Chen, but it looks like we might see Trixie die first. Rocket Barrage comes out, but he can't chase it anymore, especially not with the Rubik teleporting in. Fly, more teleports coming in. This is the anti-mage, actually. He cancels his teleport, or it gets cancelled. No, he just cancelled it himself.
No, he cancelled it himself, yeah. It looks like he's doing really well 1v1.
Trixie,
what's happening?
One Death Swarm level 3 almost killed off Trixie right there.
Oh god.
Oh.
That's really dangerous.
And S4 might be in some trouble. His Chemical Rage is on cooldown, but the stick charges will keep him safe, and Hani can't do that as the range creep is trying to take down the llama. Can't do it.
Yeah, and one interesting thing about the fact that the Rubik has now left the Anti-Mage is Anti-Mage actually squares up really, really well versus the Elder Titan in a 1v1 matchup, which is funny because you think of Elder Titan as an absolutely dominating 1v1 hero, but Anti-Mage can burn off his mana, which means he can't use the Astral Spirit, which is where he gets himself stronger from. And obviously if he's not throwing off any Astral Spirits, then Hero can pretty much just free farm up here, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, in the meantime, the gank still came out from Fly and No Tail. They couldn't get the kill on S4. But they did find the courier, still, flying or not. They, like, Alliance realized too late what was going on and they couldn't save him anymore with the Ursa Warrior helping out. Too much damage coming out, so might not be first blood, but still a lot of gold. And with the rotation of No-Till now also towards the top lane, it looks like they just want to secure themselves a fast tier 1 tower here to get a bit of extra head. In the meantime, Rocket Barrage, Trixie looks to be your first blood indeed. You are correct. Gyrocopter will take it home with the S4 or EGM rather, helping him out of course with the tether and the extra movement speed. And it looks also like they can take a tier 1 tower off the back of that. Tier 1 bottom. Fortify still comes out, but I only think that it's only delay of execution. That means that it will be a tower rather than a tower for Fnatic to get ahead. It will be a tower to stay even.
Yeah, a tower going down for both teams. This is not surprising because both teams have good pushers.
S4 actually comes in. He's completely out of mana though. His chemical rage is not going to save his life. Admiral Bulldog will get picked up here as well. 2 kills going the way of Fnatic, but Anti-Mage still dies. Era sitting in range of the tower as Trixie now comes in. Takes down the tower. Nobody else coming in from Alliance though. They left everybody there to rot, taking the tower for themselves on the bottom lane. In the end, a 2-for-1, which is... I mean, yeah, they lost their solo mid, but they still lost Era. Before the tower even dropped, didn't get a chance to take the last hit.
Yeah, he's managed to pick up a Claymore in time, so he's still going to get a relatively good time Battle Fury here. And it looks like he's going to go for a Battle Fury and a Vlad's, because otherwise there's not much point in picking up a Basilius this early. But he didn't manage to quite get the tower aggro off him in time, so a bit of a sad move for him, because otherwise that fight would have been really, really in their favour. And they do still take out the tier 1 tower as well now.
Yeah, and it starts to be around that time where you would hope to see the IO a bit higher level than level 4. Because at this point, you kind of need to slow the anti-mage down a bit, and relocating would be the way to do it right now. But we have Fnatic with the hands on the trigger. They've smoked up. Apparently, Trixie already says, you know what, screw the smoke, I'm farming. They're still going though. At least No-Till and Fly are. Perhaps going top as well. S4 is already charging up the stun. Load around here as well. They go for Era. The burst is there. Is there enough damage to silence? No blink for you. Punched. Death Prophet takes the kill. Tower is next. Exorcism comes out. The smoke target comes back. Fly and No-Till gonna try and wrap around this to try and gank this. Teleporting coming from the Dragon Knight as well. Load. Teleported up. Dragon Tail still coming out in S4. Who's still charging up a stun. Will be able to land it on 2 heroes with 1 dying on impact. Loda died, but with Aki coming around and with S4 still alive and kicking, this might be the end of Hani as well if S4 starts charging up a stun. Yes, he does. Teleporting coming from the anti-mage. Acid Spray is already down. Hani will be able to juke this out though when the stun gets thrown up on the anti-mage instead, with the spirits already doing a lot of damage. Era might be forced to teleport himself out of this. In comes Bulldog with the spirit, forcing everybody back. Although EGM on the wrong side of the fence this time gets picked off still. In the end though, it is Alliance that does not get a tower. They do get the anti-mage once. They get themselves a kill on Chen as well as on Trixie's Nature's Prophet. But they lose the IO. They only lost the IO though, right? Oh no, they lost Loda as well actually. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, both teams lose their carries in that, but Fnatic do manage to defend that tower. I still think things are relatively in favour of Alliance though, and they certainly have a team that can take advantage of the position that they're in right now and just kill a lot of towers. They've already taken out 1, they've already threatened to take out another and left it very low, and it'll be just about what they decide to do now, how they rotate. We really nicely executed at first to kill the anti-mage, but then the second time he came in they just sort of ran out of steam by that point.
Well, it looks like Eki is looking to transform into a bit more than just a support. Picked himself up a fairly early Hand of Midas. 10 minutes Hand of Midas. The same timing as Hani has for his Hand of Midas. Who, of course, is already having treads ready. Well, wow, it looks like Midas Gaming here. Fnatic, they just got beaten by a Hand of Midas team. And they are looking to return the favor. This time to Alliance. They've got 2 already. One on the Anti-Mage, or one on the Dragon Knight, and one on the Nature's Prophet. We'll see if they go for some more. In the meantime, of course, the pressure will come from Alliance because they only have 1 Midas so far, and they have a Death Prophet, which I find should be the one to try and take down those tier 1, take out those tier 1 towers very early on. But we'll see if they can keep on the pressure. As for now, we're gonna see them go for the counter push here on the top lane. Not a gank for Anti-Mage. Can't do that without the silence coming out from the Death Prophet. Not without more disables anyway.
Yeah, and it looks like Alliance are going to continue their style of going relatively aggressive. I think the Midas out on Ake is a bit of a you know, I haven't got a huge amount of XP. I want to see if maybe late game I can have some sort of insurance, because support Gyro can transition into that. But otherwise, they're all going for push style items. Alchemist, he's picked up a headdress, so he's going to be going for a mech there. Obviously they're working with a Death Prophet, who's already picked up a drum, and she's got a Void Stone as well. That could be a lot of different items. Possibly a Yule Scepter or a Bloodstone. I think if you're going to pick up a Bloodstone, you pick up the point booster first, though. Generally, I mean, you really need the HP if you are going to go for it.
Ooh, that is a Crypt Swarm stolen. Fly very close to stealing his own Exorcism, though. Loda just popped it straight after he got that. So let's see if they can take this tower. They're already charging up the stun, going for Fly, actually. Stun landing just out of the edge of the Acid Spray. Loda, what are you doing so far ahead of your team? Gets forced back again, but doesn't really take that much damage, even though the Dragon Tail did go through, of course. Fortification comes through as well. Alliance, no sign of backing up just yet. We might have No-Tail coming in from behind. He has got that Invis rune. He's also got himself a nice set of creeps. Oh, never mind. Hello. Midas Gaming taking care of the Chen creeps. Telekinesis comes out. S4, can he throw out the stun? Yes, he can. By Fly. That is going to be teleporting from an anti-mage who looks to fight, looks to help out. With the Rocket Rush still coming out, Handy actually forced back there. Era still goes for the support Aki. No-Tail getting killed off there as well. One more punch, as Era is still at least able to take down the Gyrocopter, but it is still gonna be only 2 supports dead, actually on both sides. Mana Void doesn't take down anybody else. 3 on 3 still left alive, with Rubik teleporting himself back in. The tower still stands though, and Alliance's push stopped before the tower actually fell. I'm quite surprised that it actually turned out to be a 2-on-2 trade in terms of 2 supports for 2 supports. Perhaps S4 can make something difference here, with Trixie taking a bit of a beating, quite a bit of big beating actually, and S4 indeed makes it go the way of Alliance in the end.
Yeah, it took a long time for them to do that, and both teams are really putting a priority on, well, Fnatic are putting priority on keeping their towers up, even teleporting in their anti-mage. They did it once. They were gonna do it a second time. They actually, no, they did it. They've done it 3 times now, where they wanted to TP in the anti-mage to defend the towers. He's still gonna end up with a really nicely timed Battle Fury though. Around 14 minutes in, he's probably gonna get this. It's already on its way. So no, he's got it just now. So they are putting a lot of stock in this though, because Alliance, they're 5-manning down the middle lane. That's not something you normally see from them. So both teams putting a priority on, you know, their towers over everything else for the moment.
Yeah, I think it was something that you said yesterday, or either it was you or it was Mod. But StarLadder Best of 1 series, it is the playground to try out new tactics. It's not a best of 3, you get one shot, either it works or it doesn't, but it is still unofficial, so it is a bit of a different kind of practice than you normally have in terms of scrims, but it's checking if something works, and in this case, maybe Alliance is indeed trying something new. The Flak Cannon here dealing with a big creep wave. That's going to be a lot of farm going the way of Aki, as Nature's Prophet gets picked up by S4 still. The relocate, the first relocate of the game, successful with a double damage Alchemist coming out. The Alchemist that indeed has finished up that mechanism. It looks like indeed the Yule Scepter is still complete. Yule's indeed on the side of Loda. The tier 1 tower gets picked up. That was the last outer tower, still standing on the side of Fnatic, because that mid tower did get killed off as well by Death Prophet earlier. And indeed, Alliance is just trying out something new, and for now it's working. They are not ahead in gold though. Their gold's actually fairly even. They're also not ahead in experience, even though their kills ahead. But that's because they've been 5-manning.
Yeah, and it's something really unusual. I mean, I talked about this before in the last game, is Alliance are trying out a very different style, and this is not normally their style. They're 5-manning, and
they're killing. Fly Unleashed is going to be the victim number 1. Nice air splitter coming out as well, as Hani will be the next target. Yule's keeping him in place for a little while. S4 just bashing on him right now. Can be charging up a stun as well, and does it instantly. Puts it out, takes down Hani, and that's going to be the rest of Fnatic home safe. But that was still, I mean, yeah, they're just running at people right now.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, this is not Alliance style. This is not what we've come to expect from them. So it's nice to see this from them, because one of the issues they were having is they weren't playing as well as before. They were suffering a little bit in the few last tournaments. They just, I mean, you saw them, they've had to quite a few LANs recently. When you saw them at the LANs, they just didn't really look confident. They didn't look like they normally do, you know. They didn't have that sort of big, like, we're going to win this. I mean, EGM obviously always looks like that. But the rest of them normally are a lot more, like, they're a lot more emphatic about it. and they just looked a bit down all of the time. So they're really putting on the pressure to Fnatic right now. I feel like they're putting Era in these fights too often. He was in that fight as well and had to get out. He's got his Battle Fury. He's going for Vlad's first, so he needs to farm this up as quick as possible and get some serious farm, because until he has his Manta, he can't fight, really.
True. And he is, I mean, he's still behind on net worth compared to Loda, which is saying something, since Loda doesn't even have a Hand of Midas. Of course, Alliance is a tower ahead, but that's not just that gold. That is just, indeed, as you said, Era just rotating and coming into fights that, you know, he normally doesn't do, that a anti-mage normally does not do. As we have got another Hand of Midas picked up, this one on the Elder Titan, so that's Admiral Bulldog getting ahead in terms of levels and gold as well. And that means we have 2 Hand of Midases on both sides. Back to
Yay, more Midas. That's exactly what I want, right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, to be honest, normally a Midas, I mean, they're kind of forced into it, because if the running at enemy heroes does not pay off, which for now it has paid off, but once it stops paying off and once they reach the point where they have to try and take high ground objectives, which is really not that easy, not as easy as running at the tier 2 tower is at least, well, then they have to have a backup plan, and Hand of Midas definitely make that possible, because without it you're gonna lose anyway.
Exactly, and otherwise Alliance are on a timer, because at some point Era will get farmed. He's gotten to the point now where you can't stop him from farming without sitting inside his jungle, and look, that doesn't work because Fnatic are now in your jungle, so they're going to take this trade at the moment, a tier 2 for a tier 2. Given Fnatic have better split push, I would favour them, but Alliance just don't seem to care. They want to end the game now. I mean, look at that, they're going straight to the high ground.
Yeah, it feels like they're late for an appointment or something. We have got the sun already getting charged up. That's going to be Fly, silenced up, stunned up, and they won't chase it, I think. Maybe some will. The Spirit comes out, one more hit from Io will do the job, but they're trying to take down the tier 3 tower. That's their prio. In the meantime, the same thing happens on the bottom lane, though, pushing potential-wise. There's a lot of push coming out from Fnatic. Hani does not have his Dragon form for another 30 seconds, but they are charging up the push. The stun comes out, the Hand of God actually as well, though. Fnatic, they could take this fight, but in comes the relocate with Io and Loda, and it is Anti-Mage that dies first. Trixie will take a fall as well. TP out from the Dragon Knight, that's at least something, but the Rax is down. At least one Rax is down on the side of Alliance, while Alliance themselves haven't managed to take down a Rax on the top lane, meaning the trade was actually favorable for Fnatic. You can't try and base race versus a Chen and a Nature's Prophet. That's just not something that you do.
Yeah, this is really, really bad for Alliance then. I feel like if they were going to do that, they should have just gone all in and actually taken one of the Rax. They didn't focus down the Rax, if you look, because the range Rax has taken about half its damage. The melee barracks took about 2/3, and then it survived, so it's going to end up regenning up from this. Maybe they can take it out at a later time, but it'll probably regen up the majority of its health before that. Whereas the side of Fnatic, they did lose their anti-mage to do it, but they took the enemy melee Rax. They didn't even go for the enemy ranged Rax. The anti-mage stood in and said, this is it, I'm gonna die for this, but it's totally worth it, and I really agree that it is. Nice decision making from Fnatic there.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, you already mentioned that their split push overall is just a bit bigger, and I mean, they've got a Nature's Prophet and an Anti-Mage. One of the two would already increase their split push potential, but having both of them, on top of that, a Dragon Knight that could come in with his Dragon form, pushing even faster, it is just very scary, I feel, for Alliance right now, but they're gonna try again. This time, the lane on the bottom lane is pushed out a lot more in favor of Alliance, so they should be able to take these Rex without worrying about their own ranged Rex that are still standing on the bottom lane. They take both sets of Rex. Admiral Bulldog already in the fight, might be a bit too far in though, but at least the Yule Scepter comes out to save his life. BKB turned on by Hani, looks for a target, but he has to be going back again because there's too much damage coming out. Rubik already died. Hani can't really find a target anymore. S4 looking to make an escape from this base as well, as EGM will not be so lucky actually. The mechanism comes out from S4, might be able to save his carry. The sun comes out as well. One more hit coming in from the Dragon Knight that got teleported back to base by No-Till. Gets the kill on EGM. In the meantime, in the middle lane, Anti-Mage doing his split push business, but this time he only gets a tier 2 tower. And the trade is favorable for Alliance. They are, like, really, one would say, like, in 15 minutes, they have to be somewhere. They don't have another competitive match tonight. It's only StarLadder that is here tonight, so, you know, that's a you know, they just don't want to be here apparently, or
They're just going for this. It's really, really surprising to see Alliance be so aggressive. Because, let's be honest, they're one of the most passive teams generally. And they really did go for it then. They just went, alright, we didn't get their axe last time, we're going back in 2 minutes time. Not even that, like a minute's time afterwards. They went straight back towards the enemy base. And smart move from them, because they did take their axe from it. They didn't want to leave it up for a long time, because that range axe would die, obviously, but the... Oh wow, yeah, I forgot about the DK being pretty strong against that, but he still took a lot of damage from there. But now they're going to go for Roshan, and Fnatic are going to pick this up, so this is pretty bad for our Alliance.
Yeah, it is for sure. If you want to run at people, you don't want them to have an Aegis. One thing that I actually just got pointed out by the chat, or at least I didn't see it until the chat pointed it out. Banana Man, shout out to you. Chen has a blink.
I was going to mention it. I was sitting my camera over them while Chen was in the enemy jungle. Chen just went like Arcane's blink, which I have no idea what the idea behind that is, unless he wants to like jump in and test of faith people. Apparently he views that as better for his hero than a mech, which is really surprising.
Yeah, because they just skipped mech.
Yeah, nobody else is getting it. Have no other natural mech carrier outside of maybe the Nature's Prophet, and he's not getting it. He's going Necronomicon. No Tail. I don't understand this, if I'm honest. I think this is weird. I don't like this. Hero, good job. You tried yourself in trees.
Battle Chen.
Battle Chen.
Yes.
Surely Battle Chen would get like an AC or something.
Well,
that would be
Blink is
awesome.
the item that it all starts with. You know?
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
I want to see like a full Battle Chen build.
He's a hero with the item.
Yeah, but that's because people are buying it like as a game ends and stuff.
Maybe no to
That's the thing with
stats. Oh, look at the push already coming in. But Aki's here with the call down, trying to slow it down. I'm not sure if it's enough though. Oh, Loda coming in as well. And actually, they're trying for this. Actually, the stun doesn't. That's a
Blink Chen.
Blink Chen. Victorious Blink Chen. Yep.
Blink.
That's why he bought
brilliant.
it.
That's actually really clever. He's using it to get himself away from the Yule Scepter, because you can blink out. You can basically shift click it. I think you can shift click it anyway. I'm not entirely sure, but you can blink faster than anything can hit you.
Yes.
So I really like that decision from him.
It's pretty decent.
As Nahaz was pointing out, though, it's not like a just because it's 8-0, don't rush it. It's like the
it's a luxury item.
like yeah, it's like the stat earlier we had on I think it was Necrolite and Ricky, how they both have really high positive win rates. But the reason because of that is because they're situational picks, like really situational heroes who are very strong if you get them in the right time. But if you get them in the wrong game, they're just useless. They're utterly useless heroes if you get them in the wrong game.
Yeah. Well, so far, I mean, the death brawl of Alliance is kind of halted. As Fnatic is not giving up just yet. I feel like they say to Alliance, you know what? You want to continuously push? Well, that's okay. We'll just do the same. So they're also laying down a lot of pressure onto Alliance, which is probably the way to go as well. Oh, actually, Aki might be in some trouble, but in comes the stun from S4. Does just force them back, though, or at least forces No-Till back. Sent home from to Era, relocating, coming from EGM. Well, that's useful.
Yeah, not the best relocate EGM's ever had, to be honest.
No, and to be honest, I mean, Fnatic can just keep doing that and the range racks will fall. I mean, it's range racks, they don't regen health. And I'm kind of worried for Alliance in that regard, because if Fnatic start pushing at the same speed with the same pressure that Alliance is doing, I actually would favor Fnatic in this case, even with the exorcism.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The Anti-Mage is going to push faster than that. The Nature's Prophet can be all over the map trying to split push as well if he needs to. And it's been really smart how they've been using this Chen so far, because they've been basically sitting him behind the Anti-Mage, so that whatever happens, he can just use Test of Faith on him. That way the silence coming out from the Death Prophet can't stop him. And then No-Tail just blinks away.
Yeah, Fly is not so lucky, he only has a 4-staff, so he's kind of behind in that case. They're gonna try and push. Both top lane and bottom lane are kind of pushed out in favor of Alliance, so that's gonna be giving them some time. Perhaps Nature's Prophet can go bottom, but we'll see if they actually try that, or if they're gonna try to just push on and go for a 5-man fight. It's already gonna be the fortification down, and they're trying to take down the tower. In comes Hani, though. Stun being charged up by S4. Lands it up on Hani, but Hani pops the BKB before it happens. Yules up on Loda. In comes the stun. Loda, trouble. Mana Void does so much damage there, but they don't get any kills just yet. The mechanism heals everybody up again. Anti-Mage doesn't want to die, but he had an Aegis. He'll be back up in just a moment. It is Hani that does not have an Aegis, but he does have a buyback. Era, force back, silenced up. Stun being charged up by Fly. Escali lands it up on 2, which is great, but nobody dies yet. The only people that died were the people on Fnatic, and they bought back or had an Aegis. More stuns being thrown out. It's very short duration stuns, but it's just trying to buy Alliance time to push into the base of Fnatic. Looks like they might be forced back again. There's no exorcism for another 40 seconds. Oh, Fly stunned up. S4 could start charging up stun again if he wants to. Yep, why not? Why not indeed? Who is he gonna go for this time? He might be able to get a kill on Fly, but he chooses to go on Hani at first. Hani, who no longer has his BKB. Nice sprout, still from Trixie. Just some right-click damage on Bulldog, but that's it. Bulldog, who has got his BKB complete, just not yet in his inventory. Melee Rex down. Ranged Rex only one's left standing, and it seems to be about time where Alliance goes back bottom lane, because that's where the creep wave is now pushing in. This could actually be Trixie teleporting out towards the bottom lane to take the Ranged Rex out, but Alliance actually take the Ranged Rex before anything, and they're gonna go back in! Screw Ranged Rex bottom lane! Let's Melee Rex and Ranged Rex the bottom lane as well on the side of Fnatic. They go for the tier 3 with the Exorcism out. There's not very much that Fnatic can do. They don't have the Dragon Form up on Hani, even though his BKB is back up again. Perhaps Fly can steal himself an Exorcism, but it already looks too late for that one, as the cooldown comes down as well. Era is not yet farmed enough to do anything here, and this is just now a slow push from Alliance, who's just given up on their range rack, but because they're pushing bottom, they can at least stop the creep wave from taking down more than that. They will now go back, but only because it's on their own terms, not because Fnatic pushes them out.
Yeah, and that was really, really nice play from Alliance there. They forced Fnatic to try and stay in. They forced them to go back, and because of that, Fnatic couldn't split push it out. And if they tried to, the lanes were all way too pushed up, like you said. So really, really nice for them, and I really like the item choices from the side of Alliance. Loda, he picked up a Shiva's Guard. That'll reduce the damage output that Fnatic are able to do by a fair amount. He's also picking up a heart, so he just wants to be up on the... Yeah, he's just picked it up. So he wants to be able to just sit on the front and just batter down the front of the enemy base. S4, he picked up a Sanjin Yasha as well as a mech now. So again, more items that are just for fighting and doing stuff now rather than for split pushing or farming or any of that. Alliance have just gone for that. And another thing, Ake has managed to pick up an MKB. Yeah. I have no idea. He just didn't buy any wards apparently this game. He just bought an MKB. He's like a pub support.
Yeah, but then also Io, if you look at his items, I mean, he's got a Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, they've
he's also
farmed up a lot.
Not the richest of, not the poorest. Actually, taking a look at the supports in terms of farm compared to Alliance to Fnatic, Io is sitting at 9.1k gold, while the highest of Fnatic of supports is sitting on 5.1. There's a 4k gold difference, and that's not towers, because I mean, there's also quite a few towers down on the side of Alliance, as Era is trying to split push a bit here. No-Till already forced back, because this is the last push that Alliance needs. They only need to get these Rex. There's no fortification in. Stuns are getting thrown out, but it looks like they're just objective-based gaming right here. They only need the Rex. Hani turns on his BKB, goes for Loda, but doesn't really get him. Oh, that Mana Void is at least able to do a bit of damage, but still no kills. GG called Fnatic. Lose themselves the second game here tonight up against Alliance, while Alliance continues on with the flawless record in StarLadder Star Series. Not a single game dropped thus far. A very interesting game coming off from Alliance, and Fnatic just at a loss of how to deal with it. They just didn't have time to farm up their anti-mage, which was basically in the end their only solution next to the split push that just couldn't get off the ground because Alliance just pushed more. Not harder, not faster, but they pushed more.
Yeah, I love this new revitalized version of Alliance where they've gone really aggressive 2 games in a row now. This is interesting to see, and it's something they needed to do because, frankly, like I said before, they were falling behind in games before. They didn't look kind of on point, and Fnatic was not an easy opponent, but they just, I mean, look at the number of kills. They only have 7 kills. They never really look dangerous in this game. That's a real issue for them.
It is indeed. Well, we're going to see Fnatic again to see if they can get themselves a win to their name in the next game. They will be going up against Cupad, so that's a bit of an easier opponent than Alliance is, but we're going to see if they can at least take a win from those. We'll be right back with our last game of the night with Cupad versus Fnatic. Of course, once again, you are watching StarLadder.